Good morning, everyone. Hope you are well on this Saturday morning. I know here in North Georgia, it is just nasty. I know it's mild, probably warm compared to where many of you are, but looks like this weekend we just have cold rain. It was a cold rain. We're in the 40s and the 50s as far as temperature is concerned during the day, and off and on rain, just nasty looking out there. But Ella says hello. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you having a good morning so far? Yeah, I know. So I have several things to cover here. A storm is coming. I will cover that. And we have some other news that is happening and some things that happened yesterday that I missed. I also have a terrific passage that I will share with you. It might be two passages. I don't know. It's just whatever I feel. Okay, she wants to go to. All right, go find Teddy. Go find Teddy and bother him. All right, but I'll cover that as well. But first, the storm. We have a huge polar vortex that is smashing most of the nation right now. We have snowstorms. You got ice. Like I said, here we're going to avoid a lot of that. It's just going to be kind of messy, but looks like it says here the latest projected cold outbreak should first hit the northern Rockies and the northern plains on Saturday, which is today, and then stick around all next week. The cold will likely concentrate east of the Rockies, with only the far American West and central and southern Florida exempted. That's most of the country, or a good part of it, at least. On Tuesday, expect the lower 48 states to have an average of almost 17 degrees and then plunge to 14 degrees on Wednesday. Calculated private meteorologist Ryan Mao said, let's see, what else does it say? Sometime next week, 89% of the United States will be below the freezing mark. 27% of the lower 48 will be below zero. Whew. Meteorologists expect strong winds to make the cold front feel even worse. Every state but Hawaii, California, and Florida have some or all parts forecast to have a good chance of wind chills of 20 degrees or below sometime next week. That's including Georgia. We will be in that. The only exempt, Hawaii, California, and Florida. Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Iowa will have probably the most impressive cold. Temperatures as much as 35 degrees below what's normal for this time of the year. Wow. Weather models predict Wednesday's low below zero in Oklahoma, Colorado, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Dang, y'all. I know a good many of y'all live in those states. So let's keep our preps up for this weather. I know a lot of you, especially if you live out in those states I just mentioned, are, as normal practice, you're pretty prepared. However, even if you are, you're kind of used to this weather, like, dog, we get this in the winter. Still, go over your preps, especially preparing for a power outage, even a prolonged power outage. With this kind of cold, especially sub-zero, below freezing for an extended amount of time, do a lot of harm, as we know. So just double check all of those preps, okay? Your alternative heating and protect your utilities, and of course security all the time. So did see where Hamas did free 3 more hostages. One was an American, or he has dual citizenship between United States and Israel. These guys were taken with a lot of them hostages on think about this, y'all, October 7th of 2023. It's when this war started. They started, just as a reminder. And these poor guys finally released. Can you imagine being held since October 7th, 2023? God knows what they went through. Just to be alive would be monumental. I can't imagine. But they've only released 3. They say about 70 remain. They believe that most of them are men, and at least half of them are believed to be dead. So you're probably looking at roughly, 35 people, mostly men, that remain. I know Trump said they all need to be released today. So, I have a feeling that we're going to look, the ceasefire has remained so far, but I don't know if a lot more aren't released pretty soon. I believe they will resume hostilities, and they will have no mercy this time. I believe between Israel and the United States, it'll get way uglier. I just hope they can get more out. I really do. I hope they can get more of those hostages out of there. I know they're having to make deals with releasing a lot of Palestinians and such from the Israeli jails, but you got to do the best you can to get these people out of there. Think about it from a family perspective. If one of your family is one of these being held, you want to know. Even if you're not sure if they're alive, you want to know. You want to know one way or another, right? Also saw where some things that Trump has been involved in. One UFO expert said that he believes that Trump may declassify a lot of things that are federal secrets, basically. He has created a task force that is focusing on declassifying federal secrets, including UFOs/UAPs, whatever you want to call them. Said this could potentially expose a big cover-up that spans for decades as far as UFOs. And I wouldn't be surprised if they throw that on us. It's kind of been breadcrumbs. They've been kind of slowly leaking a little information here and there about UAPs, UFOs, and such. We need to be on our guard with that. I think that could be a big deception as well, though. I think that has the potential to be a big deception. As I personally believe, a lot of that is either advanced human technology or demonic. I believe it could be demonic. I really do. But either way, it'd be interesting to know more. And I still, one of the few things that I am disappointed in as far as Trump so far, one of the few things is that he has not told us more, or given us more details on the so-called drone situation and all that's been for months around the Northeast, New Jersey, and all that. They gave us like a canned little, very general explanation, but it didn't go into any detail. So maybe this declassification effort will give us more information. Maybe it won't. Maybe a big nothing. But that's just one of the few, and to be clear, I believe he's done awesome. Less than a month in office here still, and just the guy doesn't sleep. He's doing all kinds of stuff. But that's one of the few things I do believe, because he said he was going to release and tell us all about that on day one, and really hasn't. So, but that's one of the very, very few things I can complain about. Trump has also signed executive orders on, basically, I love this. He said that any school system that still forces the vaccine on students will not receive federal funding. I like it. Now he signed this when he also signed some executive orders surrounding energy and reasserting the United States as energy independent. And he had a lot of guys behind him, standing behind him. This was videoed live late yesterday afternoon, and that was impressive. These people he has around him too. He said that he's creating a task force that will reestablish American energy independence and energy dominance. Apparently, this is headed by several people, including the Secretary of Interior. I forget his name, but he seems like an impressive dude. This is to unleash energy dominance through this new Energy Council. Thank you. Yes, by all means. I mean, we have millions of acres of natural resources, minerals, that Biden just shut off. It's just sitting out there, you know. I guess we don't want to harm the elk or something, or the beaver or whatever, but I mean, just utilize it. Everybody else in the world does. We want to rely on the Middle East? Totally. I mean, you're still going to import stuff. I get it. However, do what we can to reassert to be energy independent. He said this has the potential to, he believes, will bring energy prices down 50% or more, especially for the Northeast, New York. Hopefully it has a positive effect on all of us as far as our energy or utility prices. It should. It did the last time he was in office. Especially gasoline. Hello? I mean, drill, frack, whatever you got to do. I mean, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. But during that, when he was signing that, and some guy spoke, and the Secretary of Interior, very impressive. I mean, this guy, and some other guys were speaking there with him, you know, as he was sitting at the desk, and these guys were flanking him and talking about what they're going to do, and it all sounded good. One of them talked about AI a little bit. I don't like that, but that's coming regardless. That's happened. That's going to happen. And if the United States doesn't do it, China's all over it too, big time. It's like an arms race. But I don't want to focus so much and get in the weeds about that. It's the energy independence, I think, is huge. It could help with our gasoline prices. It could help with our utility prices that have been fleecing us for the last 4 years. All right. Drill, baby, drill, frack. Get them trucks in there. Open the pipelines. Millions of acres of natural resources, minerals, y'all. Knock it out of the park. I'm impressed. I continue to be impressed with the Vice President, Vance. He's the active Vice President. He's not just a do-nothing Vice President. And that's good. We need that. He needs to be in the game, not just on the sidelines. A lot of times you see you don't see the Vice President, or here, especially the last one we had. But I think that person needs to be in the game and be involved, visible as well. That person, he's one heartbeat away from being the president. So he should be on top of everything. He should be included in stuff. And it looks like this one is. It's just good. So I'm impressed with that, and I'm encouraged by that. More power to the guy. I mean, hey, I know he gets a lot of flack for different stuff, but hey, I mean, Ms. Dawg and I were watching a lot of this and watching the replay of this when he was signing these executive orders on the energy and the COVID and all that stuff, about the school systems. And that was awesome. And it's like more evidence that adults have arrived and are asserting themselves, which is good. We so need it. We've been talking about it for so long. It's good to see it. It's not going to be perfect. No. There's going to be things that are boneheaded and all that, I know. But overall, I mean, the alternative was more of the same we had last 4 years, and worse, probably. Can you imagine? Can you even imagine? I'm going to go to the passage. Actually, it might be a couple of them. Let's see. First one is Old Testament, and then I'm going to go to New Testament. So one of the old, one of the new. All right, the first one is, let me get my stuff straight here. One is Zephaniah. Chapter 3, verse 17 says, "The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. Amen. Trust him because he has you. That's the bottom line. That's the way I look at that. He will delight in you. He is mighty to save. Try not to be anxious. It's said in so many ways in the Bible. All right, and then we've got Luke. We are in Luke with this one from the words of Jesus. Luke chapter 6, verse 27 and 31. Verse 27 to 28 say, But I tell you who hear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. Woo, that's a tough one for us, isn't it? Now, that doesn't mean, the way I look at this, and I'm no Bible scholar by any means, y'all, but the way I look at this is, we can pray for them, and we should. Doesn't mean we have to be best friends. It doesn't mean you have to stay involved and subject yourself to somebody that's trying to tear you down or attack you or take you out. No, that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you have to stay engaged with them and let it keep bringing you down, but we can still pray for them. We can, and we should. Because it can turn around. Many times it can. Look at the Apostle Paul. Look what he did before in his early days. The Apostle Paul, and that turned around. So you never know. Miracles happen. All right, and then also later in the passage, verse 31 says, do to others as you would have them do to you. Do to others as you would have them do to you. That golden rule, isn't it? It's right there in the Bible. Hey, even if you're not religious, even if you're not a Christian, that's the golden rule. I think it is. I don't know. Share your thoughts. We're in a weekend. Let's be aware. Let's be awake. Let's stay awake and alert out there. Stay warm. Keep your preps up. And share your thoughts. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I will see you soon.